Hey guys, welcome back to Top's Tactical and other cool stuff. The guy standing here behind the camera is me. I'm Top. Today I'm doing the second video on some gear that I was supposed to get done a long time ago for some people. Yesterday we talked about plate carrier setups, how I have mine set up, the do's and don'ts for gear, and the whys and the whens on wearing that gear. All of our gear has to be mission oriented. Take a look at what we're out there trying to accomplish and tailor our equipment and our gear to support that. So, without further ado, right down here I have a tactical vest. Similar to a MOLLE vest, if you want to call it, that same kind of concept. It's a little more robust than what a plain old chest rig would be, but I like these better, a lot more comfortable. Right now you're staring at the back of it. On the back of this thing, I have a CamelBak, because as I said in my first video, the second most important thing on the battlefield is water. You absolutely must stay hydrated. So hey, on the back of mine, right here's my CamelBak. Let me go ahead and flip it out of the way. And now we're looking at the front side of my tactical vest. It looks really similar to a plain old H-harness. Chest rig, other than most of your chest rigs don't have a cummerbund with them to where you can attach some gear. So you've got to kind of cram everything onto that chest rig. So this tactical vest kind of gives me a little more room for some things. Now, a lot of this stuff is going to be common between gear. As I reach over there and move my CamelBak drink tube out of the way and then smack the tripod. We're just going to kind of start from top to bottom on this deal. Right up here, I have an accessories pouch. Attached to my accessories pouch is a compass. Over here is a radio holder for my comms gear. Down here, I've got a 6-pack of AR magazines. I'm going to have one in my weapon, so I'm going to be rolling out with 7 loaded magazines, which is on board with what traditionally the Marine Corps infantry will carry into combat. We rolled out with 7 magazines. Right beside it I have a double magazine pouch for a pistol, followed up by my bleeder kit. Now, let's talk top to bottom on some things. Right here, and it's kind of tough to stand this up because it doesn't support itself, in this pouch I have up here is where I'm going to carry the things that I need for whatever patrol I'm on. Alright, I will break this gear out when I am out, for example, just doing a security patrol, cruising around my property, just making sure nobody's out there that shouldn't be out there, things of that nature. If it ends up being, or if I'm preparing for an overnight kind of trip, or where I'm going to have to take more gear, possibly some food, or maybe there's some inclement weather, things of that nature, then hey, I've just got a little day pack, any kind of deal. Looks huge in front of the camera, but that's just what we call an assault pack. It's probably a 20-liter pack. I can shove some snivel gear in there, throw some Scooby snacks in there, some rain gear, and we're on the road and call it a day. So, brief daytime patrol is what I'm doing with this here. In here you're going to find I've got my 7th magazine. I've got a light in here. Now, this is just a headlamp for my white light. I will also have my night vision gear with me. And the night vision gear will probably get strapped onto the helmet, and NVGs will probably get strapped onto the back with the CamelBak. My whatever I'm using for my IR laser will go in here until needed. Put it on right before dark, take it off right after sun up. So, magazine, I got a light. This is a little Velcro in map case. And you can see I've got a couple pens in there. I've got an extra knife up here. In here, for example, I've got some meds. This is your Tylenols, your anti-diarrheals, your just whatever. I'm starting to get a cold kind of medicine. And back in here, I've got plotting scales, and I will also have my map in here. And there's a map pen in this thing somewhere in the back that we can't see. So that's the kind of stuff that I'll carry in here. I've also got a pocket in here for a handheld GPS. It just slides up in here, and I've got it dummy corded in. I've also got extra batteries for the different optics. I've got some CR1632s and some AAAs. That runs my, all just different doodads have. One runs my laser and my IR laser, and one goes in my NVGs. At some point in time, we started having to take batteries to the battlefield. Kind of crazy, isn't it? But anyhow, that's kind of what hangs out in there. Like I say, this is just a mil-spec compass over here. Land nav is definitely a perishable skill, and if you don't know how to land nav, you kind of need to add that to your repertoire, because that's a skill that you definitely need to possess, especially if we start getting in situations where satellite coverage isn't reliable to run all of our GPS and our electric navigational aids. As I said over here, that's just my radio pouch. 6 magazines. Now, you notice over here I got a double magazine pouch for my pistol. If you watch my video from last night, I told you that I don't carry a pistol when I'm just out on some sort of a security patrol or things of that nature, and I don't. I happen to have a couple extra double magazine pouches sitting around. One set of them made it on here, so if I decide for whatever reason I'm going to throw my gun belt on that I showed you in my last video where I'm carrying a sidearm, then I've got the magazine pouches ready to go. Over here is my bleeder kit. I never really broke this down, I don't think, and did a video on what all I carry. If you guys would like to see the contents of my bleeder kit, throw me a comment down below and I'll add that video to the list of things that I need to do. But this is a pretty simple down and dirty tactical vest. Just to kind of sum it up, I carry this thing when I'm going out on a patrol, for example, just walking my property, trying to see what's going on, making sure there's nothing bad, nothing weird happening. I don't intend to make contact with anybody. I'm not out looking for a fight, as opposed to the plate carrier when I know, for example, I'm going into a CQB environment and I know that we're going to have to get hanky with it. Then I make sure I've got my plate carrier on. I can wear this all day long. Doesn't bother me a bit. Go up and down Mount Everest, no big deal. Minimal weight here compared to what the plate carrier weighed in at. Last thing I want to show you, yesterday on my video with the plate carrier, I threw down a weapon that I carry for CQB. Now, when I'm out patrolling, I'm not in close quarters, I'm going to take advantage of a different weapon. What I've got here, and hopefully you guys can see all of it, I have got a full-length AR. Alright, this thing here has got the full-length 20-inch barrel on it. Up here you can see I've got the Picatinny rail attachment for my PEQ 15. I've got this topped off with a Vortex Diamondback 3-9 scope. The reason I did that is because in the environment here that I'm going to be carrying this weapon, I expect to engage targets outside of 30, 40, 50 yards. I don't expect to have a lot of quick reaction shots like I would have in a CQB environment, and I'm definitely going to have further shots. Alright, this weapon here, I'm good with it. I prefer to use this weapon from distances of approximately 100 to 400 yards. This is kind of my main battlefield, go to war kind of gun. And it's got a collapsible stock on the back here, which is pretty common on all the ARs nowadays. But this is my weapon when I'm just out, just a standard patrolling kind of thing. And that is about all there is to say to this. Now, if you'll notice over here, let me pan back this way, you notice that my sling swivel is all the way out front. Now, in yesterday's video, I talked about how I moved the sling swivel on my CQB gun back to about here. That way I could maneuver it easier around the cummerbund in the setup I have on my plate carrier. On this deal here, I've got that sling attachment run all the way out there because I'm going to be in situations where I'm going to utilize my sling to help support my rifle so that I can get more accurate fire at further ranges than what I would in a CQB environment. CQB environment, that sling is pretty much just there to help me keep the weapon. Okay, a sling is something that you definitely have to have on a weapon. Your sling in a close quarters battle environment will keep the enemy from getting a hold of your rifle and taking it away from you. If you got any questions about that, if you think back to the incident in Kenosha where young Kyle had a sling on his rifle, the only reason he was able to keep possession of his rifle in a crowd was because that young man had a sling on. So never underestimate the importance of the sling and the considerations on how to use it. So, have we hit everything? I believe that we have. The only thing I got left is to tell you guys to enjoy your evening. I know that ammunition's tight, but we still need to train. There's a lot of training you can do that doesn't involve sending rounds down range. So I'm going to wrap it up before I get to rambling. I want you guys to make sure that you shoot safe, shoot straight, and train often.